She did it once, and somehow she's back at it again. Nicole Murphy, the woman once praised for her beauty, class, and silence amid chaos, is now at the center of yet another scandal. But this time, it's not just about a fling or a rumor, it's personal. Because the man she's accused of going after, he wasn't just anybody. He was connected to one of her closest friends, actress LisaRaye and McCoy. Think about that for a second. Someone you've invited into your home, shared birthdays and memories with, turns around and allegedly sneaks behind your back with your husband. And when you think the storm has finally passed, she does it again with the next man in your life. The internet is calling it the ultimate betrayal, a story of friendship gone rotten, love crossed with revenge, and two Hollywood women who can't seem to let go of a feud that's been burning for nearly 2 decades. Because if the whispers are true, Nicole didn't just steal LisaRaye's man once, she came back for a second round, determined to humiliate her all over again. But here's where it gets wild, because behind the glossy smiles and red carpet moments, this drama didn't start with a scandal. It started with trust. And it's that trust that would eventually turn into one of the most talked about betrayals in Black Hollywood history. And once you hear how deep this mess goes, you'll see why LisaRaye swore she would never forgive her again. Before the drama, before the headlines, before the messy interviews, Nicole and LisaRaye were actually friends. Not just Hollywood associates, but the kind of friends who showed up for each other. They were spotted at parties together, shared private moments, even celebrated milestones side by side. Nicole had been to LisaRaye's house, attended her bachelorette party, and was considered part of her trusted inner circle. On the surface, it looked like sisterhood. Two beautiful, successful women in the same industry supporting one another. But behind that picture-perfect friendship, something was already brewing. LisaRaye's own mother had quietly warned her, saying, "You gotta watch that one." At the time, Lisa brushed it off. Nicole was Eddie Murphy's wife, a woman who seemed secure, established, and drama-free. What could possibly go wrong? But that intuition, that gut feeling, wasn't wrong. Because while LisaRaye was stepping into a new chapter as the First Lady of Turks and Caicos, married to Michael Misick, Premier, Nicole was already orbiting closer than anyone realized. She wasn't just a friend in the background. She was part of the circle, close enough to know the dynamics of Lisa's marriage, close enough to know when things got rocky, and close enough to allegedly cross the line. People around them had started whispering that Nicole liked to play a dangerous game, getting a little too close to men who weren't exactly available. But in Hollywood, rumors come and go. LisaRaye didn't think much of it. After all, she believed in loyalty. Until one day, that loyalty would be shattered. And it all started with a private plane, a name on a flight manifest, and a gut punch that confirmed the one warning Lisa should have never ignored. It all came crashing down with one flight list. LisaRaye McCoy, then married to Turks and Caicos Premier Michael Misick, thought she was living a fairy tale, a powerful husband, an island to call home, and a trusted circle of friends. But that illusion shattered the moment she checked the passenger manifest for her private jet. There it was, a name that wasn't supposed to be there. Nicole Murphy. Lisa hadn't invited her. She hadn't even known Nicole was on the island. And yet, there she was, on a private flight Lisa owned, jetting off to paradise with Lisa's husband. The betrayal didn't just sting, it burned. Because Nicole wasn't a stranger. She was a friend, someone Lisa had opened her home to, someone who'd stood by her at her bachelorette party. When Lisa confronted Nicole, she denied everything. "I haven't been to Turks and Caicos," Nicole reportedly said. But Lisa wasn't one to play dumb. She had receipts, literally. That manifest told the truth Nicole tried to bury. And when the phone calls stopped being answered, Lisa's suspicion turned into fury. At the time, Nicole was engaged to former NFL star Michael Strahan. So Lisa did what any woman scorned and armed with proof might do. She sent him the evidence. According to reports, Lisa shared a tape showing Nicole and Michael Misick at a private airport, getting out of her car, walking up to a plane, and looking far too comfortable for two people who were just friends. The fallout was instant. Michael Strahan called off the engagement, and Nicole's reputation took a hit she's still fighting to shake. Meanwhile, Lisa wasn't hiding her anger. On interviews and talk shows, she made it clear, "She messed around with my husband." But what really cut deepest wasn't just the affair. It was the violation of sisterhood. As Lisa put it, friends don't do that. That's something an enemy would do. Still, Nicole stayed silent for a long time, choosing to let the rumors swirl rather than fight back.
back. But when she finally did speak, she came with her own version of the story, and it didn't match Lisa's at all. When the story first broke, Nicole Murphy did what most celebrities do when a scandal threatens to swallow them whole. She went silent, but silence can be dangerous because while she stayed quiet, the internet was busy writing her story for her, painting her as Hollywood's most beautiful homewrecker, the woman who couldn't stay away from someone else's man.
Eventually, Nicole had enough. She stepped forward to shut the rumors down once and for all, calling the entire story absolutely false. She claimed that nothing inappropriate had ever happened between her and Michael Misick, and even pointed to a statement released by him, LisaRaye's ex-husband, confirming that no affair ever took place. According to Nicole, the whole thing had been blown out of proportion by gossip blogs and bitter ex-friends trying to stay relevant. In interviews, Nicole came across calm and confident, insisting that LisaRaye's accusations were nothing more than drama spun by social media. "I didn't break up anybody's marriage," she said. "There was never anything romantic between me and her husband." But no matter how many times she denied it, people weren't buying it. Once those photos, manifests, and stories started circulating, public opinion had already turned. Comment sections filled up with brutal takes, calling Nicole disgusting, diabolical, and the type of woman that helps men do wrong. Many pointed out the irony. Nicole herself had been cheated on during her marriage to Eddie Murphy, so how could someone who'd felt that kind of pain turn around and do it to another woman? Others weren't so sure. Some fans argued that LisaRaye might have been using Nicole's name to stir up sympathy or attention after her own marriage fell apart. And in Hollywood, where image is everything, the truth can get buried under layers of PR spin. Still, the damage was done. The whispers followed Nicole everywhere, at events, in interviews, even among mutual friends. The same women who once called her sister now kept their distance. The betrayal rumors had become part of her identity, and no denial could fully erase that stain. But just when people thought things were cooling down, the story took another turn, because years later, Nicole's name would come up again in connection to LisaRaye. Only this time, it wasn't about the past. It was about revenge. Just when everyone thought the feud between LisaRaye McCoy and Nicole Murphy had died down, the internet started buzzing again, and this time the word revenge was all over it. Rumors began to swirl that Nicole wasn't done. After years of being labeled a homewrecker and watching LisaRaye publicly drag her name through interviews, podcasts, and talk shows, insiders claimed Nicole was quietly plotting her own getback. The whispers said she'd been seen snooping around LisaRaye's new love interest, and not just any man, but Pastor Noel Jones, the same man the internet once believed LisaRaye was secretly dating. Now, here's where it gets messy. LisaRaye had always maintained that Pastor Jones was just a close friend, her spiritual advisor, but people weren't buying that either. The chemistry between them had been talked about for years, especially after they appeared together on the reality show Preachers of LA, where the storyline flirted with the idea of Lisa becoming a pastor's wife. And right when it seemed LisaRaye might finally be moving past the heartbreak, guess who popped up in the same orbit? Nicole Murphy.
Sources claimed Nicole began showing up at the same events, connecting with the same people, and making her presence known. To some, it looked like coincidence. To others, it looked calculated, like she wanted LisaRaye to feel the same sting she once felt. After all, Lisa had allegedly sabotaged Nicole's engagement to Michael Strahan by sending him that tape years ago. So maybe this was her version of payback. Eye for an eye, heart for a heart. Social media lit up instantly. The narrative flipped. Was Nicole really just defending herself after years of humiliation? Or was she proving LisaRaye's point that she couldn't resist crossing the line with taken men? Commenters went to war online. Team LisaRaye said, "See, she can't help herself." Team Nicole said, "Maybe she's just giving back the energy she got." Even those close to them reportedly took sides. Lisa's sister, rapper Debrat, stood firm with her blood, calling Nicole dead wrong for crossing that line again. Meanwhile, a few Hollywood voices hinted that Lisa wasn't as innocent as she liked to appear, that she'd been playing victim for too long. Whatever the truth was, one thing was clear. The tension between these two women had turned personal. It wasn't about men anymore. It was about pride. Nicole wasn't trying to fix her image. She was trying to win. And in Hollywood, where reputation is currency, she was ready to spend every dime of it to get the last word. But in the middle of all the chaos, one question kept coming up. Could either of them ever move on from this? After years of trading shade, accusations, and rumors, both women have said they want peace. But let's be honest, this kind of wound doesn't heal with a public apology. LisaRaye has claimed she doesn't want any more bad blood, saying she's grown, moved on, and wishes Nicole the best. On the surface, it sounds mature. But when you've called called someone out as the woman who destroyed your marriage, there's no real going back to brunch dates and birthday invites. Behind the scenes, sources say Nicole never fully accepted LisaRaye's so-called peace offering. She allegedly felt Lisa was playing two games, talking reconciliation in private, then dragging her name whenever a camera turned on. For Nicole, that wasn't forgiveness, that was fake PR. And she wasn't about to let LisaRaye play saint while painting her as the villain of Black Hollywood. Their feud became bigger than the two of them. It turned into a cautionary tale about trust, loyalty, and friendship in an industry where everyone smiles for the camera but hides a dagger behind their back. In Hollywood, people love to preach about sisterhood, but this situation exposed how fragile those bonds can be when fame, love, and ego collide.
And the truth is, both women came out bruised. LisaRaye's name got tied to public messiness she never wanted. Nicole's reputation took hit after hit. Every new headline about her linked back to this same scandal. Even years later, when her name trends, it's not for her modeling career, her family, or her business moves. It's because of LisaRaye and the men caught in between them. Still, if Hollywood has taught us anything, it's that old drama never really dies. It just waits for a new chapter. Both women are still active, still moving in the same circles, and still one whispered rumor away from reigniting everything. Some insiders believe another flare-up is inevitable, that as long as these two share red carpets, cameras, or mutual friends, peace will always be temporary. Because forgiveness might sound good in interviews, but in a world built on image and ego, some betrayals are too public to ever forget. Just when you think you've heard every version of the LisaRaye versus Nicole Murphy saga, there's one last curveball. And it's the kind of rumor that could change how people see both women. See, that whole storyline about Pastor Noel Jones, the supposed spiritual advisor caught in the crossfire, might not have been what it seemed. Some insiders whisper that the entire Nicole was sniffing around Lisa's man narrative wasn't organic at all. It was planted. According to a few voices close to the situation, the rumor may have been quietly fueled to protect someone's image, to keep the public's eyes off another, more powerful man both women allegedly knew. The claim that the pastor angle was a convenient distraction, an easy way to feed gossip blogs a juicy headline without exposing the real players involved. Now, let's be clear, there's no hard proof of this, just whispers, screenshots, and speculation that pop up every few years when this feud resurfaces. But if true, it would mean that both LisaRaye and Nicole Murphy were being played, turned into tabloid characters for someone else's benefit. That twist changes everything, because suddenly it's not just about two women tearing each other down, it's about how fame, scandal, and manipulation can pit people against each other while the real puppeteers stay hidden in the shadows. Maybe LisaRaye wasn't just an angry ex-wife. Maybe Nicole wasn't just the friend who crossed the line. Maybe both were caught in a bigger machine, one that profits every time two beautiful, successful women are painted as enemies. Take that with a grain of salt, of course. But in Hollywood, where every leak has a purpose and every feud feeds the algorithm, sometimes the real story isn't the fight itself, it's who benefits from keeping it alive. Because in the end, maybe the biggest scandal wasn't the betrayal, it was the narrative. At its core, this wasn't just about a friendship gone wrong. It was about betrayal, payback, and the thin line between loyalty and revenge. Two women who once shared red carpets and private jets ended up on opposite sides of Hollywood's most talked about feud. A private flight manifest became a public weapon. Denials turned into damage control. And what started as whispers and back rooms became a decade-long headline that refuses to die. LisaRaye says she wants peace. Nicole says she's moved on. But after all the shade, receipts, and revenge rumors, you have to ask, do they really want peace or just the last word? Because when pride meets pain, sometimes the battle doesn't end. It just goes quiet until the next spark. And in this story, there are still too many unanswered questions. Was Nicole's retaliation real or exaggerated? Did LisaRaye really forgive her or just rebrand her anger? And most importantly, if that pastor rumor was planted, who's been pulling the strings this whole time? One thing's for sure, in Hollywood, the cameras might stop rolling, but the drama never really ends. So what do you think? Was this a story of betrayal or a setup that turned
two women into pawns? Drop your take in the comments and let's see where you stand. And stay tuned, because next we're diving into another Hollywood friendship that went from champagne to shade overnight. And trust me, that one gets even messier.